With a bit of luck, that decoction will chase away the fever. You'll sleep better after, and that'll give you strength. There's not much more I can do now. It's up to you and the Almighty. The fever should start to cool now. We did what we could for Hans. The rest is in God's hands. Now...
Hans, can you hear me, friend? Christ. In the end, you bore the brunt for both of us. May all the saints watch over you. And over Bajana, too.
A sword such as this will bring honor to its bearer.
True, Sir Radzik. If I'd have had it like back in Nicopolis, things would have worked out differently.
Where's my fucking sword?
And I found it. Everything I take now will be mine, and I plan to take everything.
Rotten hell! Ugh.
Why would I miss one sword?
Because it's the last one my father forged, and I promised him I'd deliver it to you.
Stronger dog fucks the bitches, and war is a nasty business.
Where's my fucking sword?
You know what? I think I'll keep it. As a memento.
This isn't over. I'll find you!
Yeah!
Don't disappoint me.
Wake up, Henry. It's past sunrise.
Hallelujah. I thought you'd never wake. Were you having a nightmare?
Bad dreams. You must be Pavlena, right?
That's right. I came in the evening while you were asleep. Ma told me what happened to you. Then I helped Ma take care of your friend that... night?
Oh, Hans! He's alive! How is he?
Have no fear. He's alive, all right. Maybe too alive. Ma knows what she's doing, and that's the truth. I reckon she could bring the dead back to life. She said she dosed you with the strongest remedies she knows, and it looks like they did the trick. On that other fella for sure. Since he came to this morning, he hasn't stopped talking.
Yeah, that sounds like him, all right.
And what about you? How do you feel?
Definitely better than yesterday. Thanks.
That's good. Ma will be glad, but I heard you yelling in your sleep and went to check on you. Bad dreams?
I dreamt of Istvan Toth, a villainous, murderous whoreson who stole my sword. The last memento I had of my father, and I swore to get that sword back and avenge my parents.
Oh, that oath must be serious if it even torments you in your sleep. Dreams shouldn't be taken lightly. They can have real meaning, however hard they are to understand. What strikes you as the most important part of your dream?
without a doubt. I hope his soul and Ma's find peace.
Dreaming of a dead parent is confusing. It could mean you cling too much to the past, and you ought to find a new path. But I think it's a good thing he's more important to you than that murderer.
Thanks, Pavlina. I never thought of looking at it like that. It's a lot to think about.
You're welcome. But remember, it's only my reading. The only one who can really understand you is you yourself.
I expect you're right. So in the end, all the hard work will be on me. But this is all too much heavy thinking at once. Right now, what I need more is a little sunshine and fresh air.
Aye, that's the best remedy for many ailments. And a full stomach will help too. Breakfast is on the table, and I've got something else for you too. Come along, and we must save Ma from the clutches of his lordship.
I could go for something to eat now.
Look who's finally up! Henry! Come and join us! Good morning, Henry! You have no idea how glad I am to see you. Come join our banquet in the midst of these exquisite woods.
I'm glad to see you too. I see you're in a surprisingly good mood for someone who was at death's door yesterday.
All the more cause for merrymaking! Even this water now tastes like the finest wine.
Of course, I did bring it all the way from the spring.
And for that, I am in your debt, fair maid. And I'm grateful to you too, Henry. Virginia told me what happened here yesterday. That's the third time you've saved my life. I suppose I'll have to give you some estate or something.
The third time? What in God's name happened the first 2 times?
Now, Henry, don't make her beg. Tell this good maiden of your heroic deeds.
Well, there was this time when me and Hans had some fisticuffs in the tavern, and for punishment, I had to accompany him on the hunt.
And I shot a boar.
And made it mad. And when Hans chased after the wounded animal, he got caught by a human patrol.
Humans?
You haven't come across them? They're savages from the Hungarian lands. The core of Sigismund's army. Who knows what heathen gods they pray to? They hold nothing sacred. They pillage, rape, and murder. They razed my hometown of Skalitz to the ground. Slaughtered everyone.
I told you about them, though. The fellas in the tavern in Zheleov were saying there's some foreigners like that camping in the rocks down by the pond.
What?
It's just what I heard.
Whoa, that's all we need. I hope they don't turn up here. What could us two do alone against them?
What could they want from us? But if they did come here to rob us, I'd shoot enough arrows into them to make them think twice. But the thing I want to know is, how did it end up with young Sir Hans?
Well, as I said, they took him captive.
Well, there must have been 10 of them. I hadn't a chance.
You must have been seeing double. As I recall, there were 2.
That just proves how well you can count. Besides, they were armed to the teeth and had bows and armor. It might as well have been 10.
Whatever. Anyway, with a bit of luck, I managed to free Sir Hans.
Why the modesty? You got them. Maybe a stroke of luck, but as we know. Audentes.
Fortuna juvat.
See now, you've finally learned it.
What?
Ah, it's just this kind of motto of ours. Fortune favors the bold.
Maybe they're really telling the truth about who they are. Who but a lord or a priest could know Latin? And priests they ain't. I can tell.
And as I recall, you already got a pony from Uncle Hanush as a reward for saving me. Your pebbles. So I'll save myself a few groschen.
Ah, but you never gave me anything for Talmberg.
For Talmberg? What was that about then?
The foe took the castle by subterfuge, and we planned a counterattack.
Under the cloak of darkness, we scaled the mighty walls of Talmberg Castle to get inside and open the portcullis to our brothers in arms who were poised and ready to attack.
And we almost succeeded. Only, along the way, Sir Hans here took an arrow to his noble seat.
Seat? He got shot in the backside.
My upper thigh, actually.
Backside it was. But that's no joke either. It's not easy to run with an arrow stuck in your arse. If I hadn't carried him...
I admit it, you saved my arse.
Well, now, you two have been through a thing or two. As far as I can tell, it really was his backside and not his thigh. I examined Hans and saw the scar for myself. But I reckon you paid off part of your debt the other day, sir.
True enough. Hey, how did you manage to get the best of that cutthroat the other night when you hauled me here?
To be honest, by a stroke of luck. We were fighting outside, but that fucker got a hold of his falchion and let me have it in the guts. I thought I was done for. But I groped around and found a pail and whacked him with it with the last of my strength. And luckily I hit him a nice crack right on the noggin. Can't remember a thing after that.
My word. Fortune really does favour you. You chose your motto well.
Once we get back to Ratai, I'll have it inscribed on my shield.
Do tell. What else did the two of you encounter?
Quite a lot of things. But I'm afraid we don't have much time for storytelling right now. We came here on an important mission, and we cannot afford to dally any longer. We have to get to Trotsky as soon as we can. How far is it from here?
Not far. Once you climb the hill above Zhelioth, you'll see the castle.
All right. I think we should get on our way as soon as possible.
I'll prepare a bit of food for you, for your journey.
Oh, Bajena, I don't know how to thank you for all this.
Ah, but I do. Once we've settled our business with von Bergov, I shall reward you as befits a knight. You have my word of honor.
Now you've got me curious. I never got a knight's word before.
For a start, you can leave me that axe and spade. We can't manage without them.
Yes, of course. And thanks for everything you've done, Bajena.
I have something for you, Henry. Ma had trouble because of you, but I know you didn't do it on purpose, and you protected her when she needed it. I want to thank you for that. Take this potion. It will help when you're in danger or don't know which way to turn. Have a little sip each time, and it'll save you a lot of trouble. You'll see. It's not all that hard to brew. With a bit of practice, you could manage it yourself.
Thanks, Pavlena. This'll come in handy.
No doubt. But we'd better get going now.
Hans is right. We're very glad we met you. And we're obliged to you for your help and hospitality. God bless you.
And you too, sirs.
As Henry says, may God bless you for your generosity and your healing arts. And you have rightfully earned the gratitude of the House of Lipa for all time. If you should ever find yourself in need, the doors of Perkstein shall always be open to you.
Thank you, sir. Though, I'm not sure I could find the way to Perkstein. Hopefully we'll never need to take up your offer.
How come you live here and not in the village?
Oh, that's hard to explain. It's just the way things turned out. And Ma and... Look, That's our affair, and we won't talk about it. Sorry.
Are you managing here all right?
We don't complain. We mostly live off the woods, and when we need something else, we buy it or get it from the villagers. Mostly, I weave baskets. And me and Ma brew ointments and potions. Then I go around the villages selling them, or I barter them for stuff we need. Sometimes folk come here to us, when it's something serious.
Is anything interesting happening around these parts?
Them bandits is riding roughshod over the place. It's about time Lord von Burgau rousted them out, but I reckon you know something about that, huh?
You got that right.
And there's to be a big wedding. Young Lord Semin's gonna marry the daughter of the bailiff of Troskovitz, Thrush. That's the biggest thing happening. Apart from that, a band of nomads turned up here. They got a camp somewhere down by the pond.
You said you'd shoot arrows at the humans. You can use a bow.
Yeah, I'm pretty handy with it. I train up there, on the cliff, whenever I have a free moment. And the hares hanging in Ma's kitchen didn't just walk in by themselves. If they'd let me take part in the tournament at Trusky Castle, I'd beat all the men hands down, but that'll never happen. So I have to make do with hares and a straw mannequin. God be with you.
Can you tell me something about these parts?
What can I say? The village of Sheleov is nearby, and close to it there's a big traveller's inn. And to the north of Sheleov is Tachov. They've got a blacksmith's there, and a small tavern. There's no love lost between the folks from Sheleov and Tachov. They're always out to spite each other. Some dispute about some meadow.
Well, I don't suppose those are the only villages around here.
It ain't far from Sheleov to Semin. Sir Jan, the owner, he got a big stud farm with fine horses, and down by the water, a mill. The biggest village in these parts is Troskovitz, what lies at the foot of the castle. The local bailiff has his seat there, and there's a tavern too. Then there's Nebakov Fortress, Sir Yaromir's seat. There's a mill at the foot of it. But Pavlena knows more gossip about folk around here. She goes out and about. I stay home these days and hardly meet a soul.
How come you live out here?
That's just the way it is. It's for me to know, and you to find out.
Ah. All right. I won't pry.
Sorry for coming late, Ma. I got held up in Troskovitz.
Of all places. And it's not the first time.
I know, but I was going past and I thought I'd try to sell some baskets and ointments there.
Nothing against the hospitality of the good women folk here, but I want to get to Trosky Castle right away.
Charges nearly twice as much as we do, so it's no wonder folks buy from us. But I understand. Next time I'll come straight home, so you're not on your own so much. If anyone comes here again threatening...
What about Mutt? He's bound to be looking for us, and we can't just abandon him.
Henry, I like your dog, but that's not our priority right now.
He saved my skin.
So did I. First Trosky, von Burgov and the mission, then we can look for your dog.
All right. But the moment things are sorted out, I'll go looking for him.
I'd expect no less of you. So, should we get going?
The less fuss going on around here, the better for us. And if anything does happen,
Hold on a bit.
we've got Growler.
Before we hit the road, there's something you should know. I have a hunch that one of that band that ambushed us at the pond was Istvan Toth.
Toth? Are you yanking my pizzle? He's long since over the hills and far away.
Good day to you.
Good day.
I tell you, I saw him there.
Of course, Henry. I know you have accounts to settle with him, but that's nonsense. Toth is in Sigismund's service and is harassing his opponents. And Otto von Burgov is one of Sigismund's allies. So Toth's hardly going to attack his people. It was dark. God knows what you saw.
I saw him, the bastard, and I'll get him.
Yes, we'll surely get him one day. I promise you. And your sword, too. But I don't think either of them are around here. But I see you haven't wasted any time and found yourself a weapon to replace that sword. That's good. You never know when you might need it around here. Come on, let's get going. Your mind will turn to better things along the way.
I hope they've got a good physician at this castle. Or at least a barber. I mean, that old crone got me on my feet. But I don't believe much in herbal remedies. You can't beat an educated man of medicine.
And I can't wait to sleep in a proper bed.
And some wine!
Oh, fucking hell.
Oh, it's closed. Open up! I bear an urgent message for your liege lord. Hear me! Open the gate! I am a messenger from Sir Hanash of Lipa. Fucking shit! Fuck! You
cunts! Do you know who I am? No, we fucking don't!
I am Sir Hans Capon of Perkstein, heir to Ratai.
Now, look here, you filthy beggar! I'm not here for your amusement, so get your stinking, ragged asses out of here on the double. The pair of you!
What's all this about? Why don't you send those beggars packing?
I did, sir. They say they're messengers.
I am Sir Hans Capon of Perkstein, envoy.
I heard. Nevertheless, I doubt Sir Hanush would send two vagabonds covered in excrement as emissaries. Apart from which, Sir Hans Capon is dead. We found his body by the pond. His company was ambushed by outlaws, and they were slaughtered to the last man.
Yes, yes, they ambushed us, but we managed to get away.
Sir, we met your Captain Thomas on our way. He can testify to who we are. He saw our message and its seal.
How terribly unfortunate you are. The captain's company was also ambushed by outlaws. The captain barely escaped with his life and has been delirious for 3 days. And even if he did confirm your story, I am under strict orders to admit no strangers to the castle.
Sir, there's a horseman approaching, in King Sigismund's colours.
Ah, now that's what a messenger looks like. Count yourselves lucky that I don't have time to waste on you. Be gone!
I'm getting in, whether you like it or not.
Get your shitty hands off me! Look, wait. Wait, one moment!
What the fuck was that?
So now what?
There's only one thing we can do.
Have you two got any groschen?
What do you take me for, wench?
For someone who stinks like a badger.
Look, we've had a tough couple of days, so we'd like a bit of peace and quiet, a beer, and a bite to eat.
Unless you want to share a bowl of gruel, you're going to need more coin than this.
Just bring the best you have, and we'll settle later.
As the gentleman wishes.
Well, she's not far off. We look like a couple of beggars, and we stink even worse.
What the fuck was all that at the gate? You try to talk to them and get shit poured on your head.
Different lands, different customs.
God's holy britches.
Well, I expect they've had trouble with beggars at the castle, so they act without thinking.
Oh, really? I'd never have figured that out. I'd rather hear some cunning plan how to get out of this shit. Huh?
The first thing we have to do is get ourselves into decent shape. Have a good scrub, get some better clothes. Then they might believe we're actually messengers.
That's all very well, except we can't even pay our bill here. Never mind a visit to the baths and the tailor.
Hold up. Am I supposed to open my mouth and wait for it to rain?
So we'll earn some.
Earn?
I'm not afraid of work. And we're gonna need every groschen we can get.
And how long will it take for you to earn a few groschen? And where will you find a decent tailor? Before we get ourselves sorted out, Sigismund will be sitting on the throne in Prague.
So what do you suggest? Going back to Rattay?
To Rattay? You just don't get it, do you? We can't go crawling back like this. We'd be a laughing stock.
I suppose you're right. We'd be taken for total idiots.
Well, you could shrug that off. But me, we've got no message, no coin, nothing but our ragged arses.
Chin up. We'll sort it out somehow, and everything will be fine again.
Nothing will be fine, my friend. I'll tell you 4 reasons why. Oates, Tankard, Conrad, and Nicholas, instead of sitting here with us, having a chat and a laugh, they're just food for crows in some godforsaken hole.
We'll go back and bury them as soon as we can.
Yeah, as soon as possible. They were good Christians, even though it didn't always seem that way.
We'll keep the promise we made at Bajenas. The best way to honor their memory is to finish our mission. We'll get inside the castle. You'll see. We'll avenge our lads and go back to Rattay with our heads held high. I promise you that.
Audentes fortuna juvat.
Audentes fortuna juvat.
Food. About bloody time.
Here we are. Gentlemen.
What is this stuff?
Hey, there's meat in that. And there's more than you gave me coin for. When you're finished, report for work.
Cheers. What is it? That's that woman from the pond. Or the one you gave us away for?
I bear that witch. Wench!
What I tell you? What are you waiting for? She can vouch for who we are. Go to her.
God be with you. A full pitcher of wine, please.
My word, that's a picture and a half. I ain't seen you here before. Who sent you? Not them nomad vagabonds, I hope.
Don't worry. I've come from the castle. I'm Catherine, and I've got the lovely job of keeping the soldiers' throats wet.
Ah, that's another matter then. Oh my. Ugh. Can you smell that too?
Oof. It stinks like something died here.
You're the one from that pond.
Jesus, fella. That's a bit much.
Hey, youngster, if you want to go around mixing with my guests here, go and wash the stench off yourself at the trough first. Stinking up my establishment.
Health, lads. That's the most important thing. Enjoy yours while you still can.
Are you pissed them hands of mine went missing with my goods? I have my work cut out.
Mind where you're going.
I'm more work at the mill than I can handle myself.
I feel so blessed to be able to take care of it.
Where is that bloody
Take care. Shame on you. With you? I'm an honest miller. No.
Let me warn you. I feel nice inside, and I
Good lord, what did you roll around in?
Your wife's bed. She's a real sow, that one.
How rude.
Sorry to bother you, but I've seen you before.
Oh, eh? I don't remember. Hold on, are you the boy that cleans the pit under the castle shitting hole?
You were attacked by those bandits.
What bandits? What are you on about?
You were attacked at the pond. You, some other women, and so were we as it happens.
I have no idea what you're on about. I work at the castle, and I wasn't at any pond.
And I have no idea why you're trying to deny it. I saw you with my own eyes. You were washing laundry there with some other girls.
Well, I reckon you weren't looking too much at faces, eh? Clear off, you lecher.
Here's your wine. Is this vagabond bothering you?
I can handle the likes of him myself. Thanks for the wine. Bye.
Look, please. I don't know what's up with you, but I know you were there. I need your help. You owe me that much. But we need to get to von Berghoff, and you're the only one who can confirm who we are.
You can't get into the castle. And even if you could, that was the King's messenger. Von Berghoff is getting ready to ride out.
Oh, shit.
If you want to speak to him, the best place would be Samin's wedding. He'll be there. For sure.
No, wait.
And don't ever lay your hands on me again!
What are you gaping at? Have you nothing better to do?
Why are you standing here like a pillar of salt? Are you ready?
Always ready.
Glad to hear it. You pair ordered a lot more than you paid for, so you'll work your debt off, like I said.
All right. What do you want us to do?
Over there by the gate, there's a cart with sacks of flour from the mill. My old man was meant to take them into the house. But as soon as he got a sniff of work, he vanished into thin air. The second door in there leads to the pantry. That's where I need you to haul the sacks. You have to lay each sack on the planks, so they don't touch the damp floor and go moldy. If you just chuck it on the floor in the corner, it'll spoil. So do it properly. 2 men can finish the work in a jiffy, and then we'll be quits.
All right, we'll do it. Carrying a few sacks won't kill us. For sure, it's less daunting work than fighting bandits in the woods.
Aye, it's terrible about them bandits. We never had nothing like that here before. Like it or not, you can't pay what you owe me, so I'm putting you to work. Is that clear?
All right, we'll do it.
Glad to hear it. I can see you ain't stuck up like your mate. Where are you actually from, if you don't mind me asking?
Skalitz.
Never heard of it. I ain't been further than the back off me whole life. But I know this place inside and out.
I heard some talk about some wedding being planned here.
Ah, Nobody's talking about nothing else. Young Lord Samin is marrying Agnes, the daughter of Thrush, our Truscovitz bailiff. And it's going to be a grand affair. When rich folks get married, that's a feast that's a lot different from when some tanner gets hitched to a bat-house wench.
Will Lord von Burgov be at the wedding?
How should I know what his lordship's plans are? But most likely he will be. Samin is his vassal.
Hold up. Am I supposed to open my mouth?
Who is this? Semin.
Can't you tell by the name? The Lord of Samin. The fort in the village belonged to him. Old Jan Samin is the head of the family. And his son's called Olda. And it's him who's getting itched. There used to be a rich family. Their glory's faded a bit, but they still have some clout.
Where's the wedding going to be?
At Samin, of course. I expect old Sir Jan and our bailiff will try to outdo each other in showing off their wealth.
Could I get to the wedding somehow?
I don't know about that, lad. It's for invited guests only.
It seems that's really our only chance.
What's that?
Oh, nothing.
If you want to find out more, there's a couple of invited guests having an ale over there. Young Svatja there. He's the bride's brother. He can be a bit of a pain, but he's a good lad at heart.
What's life like here?
Better now that you and your pal have finally had a wash. Truth to tell, it used to be better. The war might be far away, but more and more young lads are going away to fight. But then there's a shortage of folk to do the work around here, and that's a big problem.
I'm sorry.
Well, can't be helped. Let's hope things get better.
Where can I find work around these parts?
First, you gotta carry them sacks for me, so don't bother looking anywhere else yet. But otherwise, you can find work anywhere. You just need to keep your eyes open and not be afraid to ask. Try Radovan the smith for one. He's a bit odd, but he'll pay decently for a helping hand. Come to mention it, he's sat just round the corner there, if you want to ask him about it. And that fella next to him is Miller Crazel. He needs helpers now and then. But watch out for him. You know what they say about Millers.
I've heard things all right.
Well then, be careful.
Is that all you know about the wedding?
What else is there to know? I'm just looking forward to being a guest and having someone serve me for a change.
Is this the only tavern here?
In Truscovitz it is.
You must be doing pretty well then, eh?
I'd be doing a lot better if everyone paid their bills.
Where do you want the sacks moved to?
To the pantry. That's the second door inside there. But I'd split the work with your pal if I was you. So you don't do yourself a mischief. It's his debt too, ain't it?
I'll go and discuss it with my friend then.
And careful with them sacks. I don't want you ripping them or anything like that. Aye, coming right up. Here it comes.
What? Who?
What a couple, of course. Who else?
What do you mean? Steal?
One day, when their time comes, I'll take her to the butcher.
Greetings to you.
Likewise, lad.
I haven't seen you here before. Where are you from?
I fled from Silver Scalets.
Silver Scarlets? You people mine silver there?
Aye. Well, we did. Until Sigismund attacked us.
Bugger me.
He needs coin for his troops, so he goes after the silver, the sly ginger fox. Even the Kuttenbergers surrendered to him not long ago, I heard.
Did you lot surrender to him as well?
He'd have had to talk to us first. They just attacked, burnt down the village, and slaughtered most of the people.
I'm sorry to hear that. May God welcome their souls. Thank Christ we've been spared that kind of misfortune so far, eh, Radovan?
That's because they have silver, and we ain't got shit, Crazel.
Good point.
What do they call you, lad?
Henry of Skalitz.
Fancy yourself a noble, it seems.
So, Henry, what was it you were after?
Since you've joined us.
I heard there's going to be a big wedding in these parts. What do you know about it?
That's right. A big affair in Sameen.
Everyone wants to go.
And anyone who's not invited is trying to worm their way in somehow. Not me, though. I couldn't give a toss.
Because you weren't invited, eh?
Of course I was invited. But what do I care about young Sameen and the bailiff's lass? We're all just playthings in God's hands. One day, our earthly bonds will vanish in time, like smoke.
Trying to sound clever again, are you, Crazel?
All I'm saying is that these petty affairs of men leave me cold.
Sod that! It's gonna be big! Even Lord von Burgo himself is gonna be at the wedding, and he hardly ever shows his face in public.
Would it be possible to get to von Burgov, even though he keeps his distance from people?
I don't know. He's either locked away in his castle or traveling somewhere. And he's powerful and important. So the only chance of meeting him is at the wedding. At least for us who are invited.
And everybody will want something from him. He'll be dancing for joy, I can tell you.
Could someone get to the wedding without an invitation?
Someone? You mean? Forget it, looking like that.
Well, I think it might be possible, using certain methods. Play of light and shadow, a cloak as black as night.
What are you going on about? More Miller's witchery?
All right. I won't say another word.
Semin's bound to keep a damn close eye on his big day, so you won't get in without an invitation.
So, how can I get to the wedding?
The best thing would be to find a job that'll be needed there.
Aye. There's always lots of hands needed at a wedding. As the hours pass and the guests raise their goblets, they'll lower their guard.
I'm looking for work.
And what can you do?
I can do a lot of things. But mainly, I'm a blacksmith.
Bugger me. A blacksmith, you say? That makes two of us. And my apprentices have just vanished along with my goods, the bastards, when I'm swamped with work. If you're not talking shit and you can wield a hammer, we'll shake on it. And if you prove your worth, I'll even take you to that wedding.
Why would you work at a forge? Come and work for me at the mill. It's a cleaner job, and easier. And I can get you to that wedding, too.
Leave it out, you rogue. I asked him first.
My own pa was a blacksmith, so I spent my whole childhood at the forge. I know how to handle a hammer and bellows.
Bugger me. That's a lot more than the last lot I had. Whenever you're passing by that way, drop into my forge in Takov and ask for Radovan. That's me.
I haven't been here before, and I'd like to learn something about this region.
What's there to say? It's not a bad place to live.
It's usually peaceful, thank God. I don't like too much excitement.
You've got good reason to hide, I reckon.
That's enough of your mudslinging. It's actually good to live in an estate where the Lord's away most of the time.
That's true. Just a couple of villages, rocks, fields, not even a church worth the name, in fact. That's despite Otto van Burgo being one of the kingdom's most powerful nobles. The darkest place is under the candlestick, as they say.
When his lordship isn't in these parts, his chamberlain stands in for him. Ulrich von Schaumburg's his name.
Yeah, I saw him on the gate tower, when he sent us packing like beggars.
Aye, he's a right haughty bastard. On the other hand, he can be negotiated with.
If you can get to him.
I've got to be going.
Wait, there's something else I want to ask. What brought you all the way from Scarlet's? And who's that companion of yours?
We were straightforward with you, so don't be shy and tell all.
It's a long story. What I will say is that fella who looks like he sleeps in a dung heap is Sir Hans Capon of Perkstein. We were supposed to deliver a message to Lord von Bergov at Trotsky. We set up camp down by the pond, and in the evening we were attacked by bandits. They slaughtered our men. It was only through luck that we saved our skins. We lost everything, even the letter. So they wouldn't let us into the castle.
Can't say I'm surprised. I'd send you packing myself. But it's true, there's bandits marauding in these parts. They're getting bolder and bolder. Even attacked a patrol from the castle recently.
Aye, these are evil times. Nothing never happened like that in King Charles's day.
Farewell then, Henry.
Farewell.
Christ, pardon me.
I talked to that woman from the pond.
So I noticed, and you took your time coming back to me. It didn't look like she was too pleased to see you, though.
The main thing is, she denied ever being at the pond.
It's definitely her, though. You don't forget a figure like hers.
I got the feeling she didn't want to talk about it for some reason. I did get something out of her, though.
What? Don't keep me in suspense.
Von Bergov is about to leave the castle.
Sacre! If he pledges to Sigismund before we can get to him, everything's fucked.
Calm down. Let me finish. There's also going to be a big wedding in the region. Young Sir Older, the son of a respected nobleman from nearby Semine Fort, is marrying Agnes, the daughter of Thrush, the local bailiff. It's the talk of the town. Invitation only, it seems. But getting to the wedding isn't as impossible as it might seem. There'll be lots of jobs to do for it. So we could get there as help for the blacksmith, or miller, and maybe someone else.
Why should some wedding in a shithole near Trotsky be of any interest to us?
Because it looks like von Bergov will be there.
Oh, that's fantastic news, Henry. So all we have to do is get on the guest list. And that shouldn't be a problem because you've got a cunning plan, right?
Like I said, there's going to be a lot of work involved in a wedding like that. That's our chance.
Work. Well, if you want. But how will you get me to the wedding?
Well, I thought we could both get jobs there.
I'm sure there are other options.
There's something else we have to sort out first. I spoke to the innkeeper.
I noticed that too.
We can work off our debt. All we have to do is carry a few sacks of flour from that cart to the pantry. If we both do it, we'll be finished in no time.
Lug sacks? Are you yanking my noble pizzle?
I'm serious.
I can't work. I'm a noble. What if someone saw me?
Do you have any idea what you look like?
Well, all right. I may not look much like a noble, but my blood's still blue. People will remember my face, and when everything's cleared up, word will get around that I lugged sacks here like some beggar. As if the disgrace at the gate wasn't enough. Ugh!
Work, your lordship, is an activity that all us common folk have to do when we need money. And it wouldn't hurt you for once either.
Henry, haven't you ever heard of the 3 states of man?
Would that be some aristocratic excuse?
Not so fast. It's God's law. Oratoris, the priests who pray for us. Laboratoris, the plebs who shovel shit and pay taxes. And Bellatoris, the warriors who protect the ones on their knees or in the fields. Now, which am I? So if you find me a sword, I can get to work. But wield a pitchfork or carry sacks? That's against God and nature.
So, which do I belong to?
Good question. Before I'd have said you were a peasant, but it turned out that you're a noble's bastard. And you're pretty handy with a sword. And you've even been in a monastery.
I'd rather forget about that.
You're a bit of everything. But if you get your hands dirty with labour, it wouldn't be such an offence against divine order as in my case. Pure blood, noble status and that. In short, be so kind as to get to work. I promise I'll make it up to you.
Are you really not going to help me? It's just a couple of sacks.
Come now, Henry. What did I tell you about Bella Torres and the natural order of the world? I simply cannot carry sacks.
Well, I'm afraid there's nothing else for it if we're to ever get out of this place. So, Lord or no Lord, the sacks are waiting.
Let them wait. Sacks are good at it. It's not long since I had to drag one sack through the night, and if I hadn't, that sack wouldn't be here now. So I think I've done my fair share. I mean it, Henry. Stop trying to push me.
Suit yourself, then. So, you simply aren't going to work?
It's not appropriate.
Right. I'll get to work. Alone.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I'll scratch your back later.
How? While giving me a large estate?
That too, of course. Maybe 2 estates. But above all, once we're out of the worst, I'll help you find your dog. As soon as we have at least some gear, we'll head into the forest and find Mutt in a trice. Although, if you think about the 3 states of man, looking for lost dogs is more like a huntsman's work. But let's pay no mind to that.
How generous of you, Lord Capon.
I know, my dear Henry. Such is my nature.